Hey, welcome back. So this is my 1 year in review. I know, right? Sometimes it feels like I've been doing this for 10 years and sometimes I feel like I've been doing it for a month. So kind of a strange time to be in. I meant to put this out on the day, but I am just way too busy and tired to do that. So it's a couple days late, but this is still my 1 year. I went through all my old footage and I picked out my 10 favorite shots and compiled them into here. I'm going to do a new voiceover over those and just kind of talk about those videos and what my first year has been all about. And it's kind of a strange place for me to be in. I never expected to be a YouTuber at all. This was not part of my plan. A lot of you guys know that I'm a strength and conditioning coach professionally. That's what I do full time. That's how I pay my bills and made my living. And I love doing that, and I will always do it. I'm just going to switch things up a little bit now. You guys have been following along since the beginning. I sold my house a couple months ago, and I've been living in a tent with Megan ever since. She's busy right now, but she's here. And this has kind of come as a bit of a surprise. I was doing the YouTube stuff for fun, just to kind of document my spearfishing journey so I could share it with my family and friends, and just did it for fun as a little art project on the side for some creative outlet. And it turned into a much bigger thing than I expected. While I don't have a huge following, it's much bigger than I expected it to be. So thank you guys so much for your support. It's really fun for me. And it's fun meeting all you guys out. So also what I really value about this channel is I get to get my thoughts out, and I just put them out there and I can watch them later. And it gives me kind of a perspective where I can work on things in my personality and my character that I want to improve. And also watch my diving and see all the errors that I make in my diving and try to work on those too, because I still have a lot to learn. And I'm really not trying to teach anything on here. I'm just trying to share my experiences and what I learn along the way and what I think helps. And it seems to have helped a lot of you guys too. I really appreciate everybody reaching out on Instagram on BMS Strength Training. That's how you can get a hold of me if you'd like to ask any questions. I love to help, and it's really rewarding to hear how much it's helping some of you guys in your diving, etc. So with that, we dropped our first episode on Stewardship Untamed. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. So we did start a new channel to document our homesteading adventure, and I have episodes worth of footage I have to dig through. We have one episode out right now, but I will start putting those out more frequently as I catch up. I've just been building a lot and been very, very exhausted, and I cannot wait to move out of the tent, and we're very close. And we are oddly approaching the 10,000 mark, 10,000 subscribers. So I'd never really expected it to happen that quickly, but for my 10,000 subscribers episode, which is coming up, I hope soon, I have a unique episode I've been wanting to do. I'm holding this. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but I am going to be doing a giveaway, just a small, humble, creative giveaway, but I wanted to show some appreciation and do kind of a fun episode that way. So if you guys are watching and you want to see me hit that 10,000 subs mark, please subscribe. I think we can do it pretty quickly, and I'm very excited to share that with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I wanted to start with this shot right here on these kamanus because I was by myself way down the coast, and this is my first snorkel shot I think ever. I was actually breathing when I shot this fish, so pretty exciting. I thought that was super cool. That school came right up to me and I just picked the easiest shot and didn't really care which one it was because they're all about the same size. And while it's not my biggest kamanu ever, it's certainly not my smallest. I think it ended up being about 6 pounds. So as I shoot him, all of his friends are curious and came in to scope me out too. And if I had a partner, they would have easily picked one off. Pretty cool. And then this one was just from a few weeks ago, and this is my PB moo. And moo are notoriously very difficult to hunt, and on Big Island, for some reason, we seem to have a harder time with them. I don't know why, but I was out here for hours and hours trying to get on this school moo, and finally I had the right drop, and this guy ended up being, I think, 5.6 pounds. Something like that. But came in, gave me a nice easy shot. I wasn't going to mess it up. I aimed mid-body. You could see the weight of the fish as he smashes into the reef. That's when I knew how big he was. So super stoked about that guy. Look how big he was. Huge slabs of meat came off that guy. Absolutely delicious. Stoked on that. And this one was almost a year ago, my second episode. I was out by myself, and this school of aluas came through. I didn't pick out the biggest one. I picked out the medium-sized one and put a stone shot into them. I usually don't take them bigger than that, but good enough. And now here is one of my favorite shots, just because I remember this dive so clearly. And this yellow spot comes shooting in to bully the other fish out of the way, and as he comes around, he gives me a nice easy shot. He ended up being about 6 pounds too. Yellow spot, some of the best sashimi out there, pretty rare fish. Yeah. So I want to take a brief intermission to talk about cooking for a second. This is kind of one of the things that got the channel going. When I was first starting the channel, I had a few friends say, you know, that's a cool idea, but you should really focus on the cooking. Which I thought was unique, because I don't think of myself as a very good cook. I like to cook, but I'm really glad that I did that, because it allows me to see fish in a completely different way every time, because I'm never trying to do the same recipe twice. I might have, and I might in the future, but I try to make it as unique as I can and say, okay, with this fish, what would pair well with it, what am I in the mood for, and what have I not seen before. And sometimes I take inspiration, I take an idea, and I'll run with it a little bit and make it my own, put my own twist on it, if you will. But that's been really fun and exciting. It's keeping me creative, and I really appreciate you guys' feedback. I'm not a chef. I don't really know what I'm doing in cooking. I just really like to do it. So I'm always looking to get better at it and take insights from you guys, and I really appreciate that feedback. So anyway, back to it. And while this isn't a crazy shot, this is a cool fish. This is a Veola. He's about 3 pounds, his biggest one I've ever shot. Put a spinal tap into him, amazing eating, a semi-rare fish for me to shoot. And moving on to this one now, my biggest knife jaw. This guy ended up being over 15 pounds gutted and gilled. And I slowed it down because it happened so quickly. And he comes in a monster. I pulled the gun back and I realized I had to hit him center body. And I flossed him. He never saw it coming. This is at 86 feet, I believe, and here's it in real time. He comes cruising in to scope me out, a little bit too close. I pulled the gun back a little bit, wait for him to turn broadside, and it was a pretty short dive. I remember kicking as hard as I could here to make sure he stayed off the reef and out of the holes, and I wasn't down for very long, so I was able to put a lot of pressure onto him and haul him up. And now these avas here, I didn't even know they were there until they swam right in front of me. So I took a lunge forward and hit him center body, and he takes off. And he ended up being 15 pounds gutted and gilled. So it was an absolute monster. And he fought hard for about 15 minutes before Alex, Jake, and I finally caught up to him and got him in our hands. And avas have this weird thing where I don't think they collect lactic acid. They just don't get tired. They don't get worn out. So it took us a long time to get him, a lot of work, but I did end up landing him. The meat is incredible. You got to scrape it with a spoon. I made a lot of fish cakes. That's him right there. And then this is only my second one. Alex ended up getting the first one of any of us, and I shot one about an hour after that. So avas are pretty rare for us. They're incredible eating. But now this next one is one of my favorites. So I was out at night with Jake, and I ended up stabbing this ika, the squid, with my knife. So I can't actually believe that it worked out. It wasn't huge, but pretty incredible. Super stoked about that. I cannot believe it happened. So yes, I did land an ika at night with my knife. So this is actually from my very first episode. I was out diving off a boat with Jake in Oahu. I got brushed by that shark right there, and I saw that sheepy head away from me. And then as I look over, I see another one come rocketing in here, and I put my gun where I thought he was going, and then just something told me, pull the trigger. And when I felt that, I just pulled the trigger, and I happened to hit him. I couldn't believe it happened. So he ended up being, I think, 16 pounds. Not huge, but it's all the meat I needed. I was super stoked on that. It's amazing eating. And I believe that was my third ahi I've shot. And then this shot right here is the money one. This is the one that made my whole year. Fish of a lifetime. I look over and I see this absolute monster tail coming in. And at first I thought it was a wahanui. Maybe you guys have seen this episode. This is a lehi. They're a deep sea fish. I only know of 2 other people that have ever shot one on a spear. I couldn't believe he was coming in. At first, I was thinking it's just a wahanui, but he's an absolute monster, so I might have to take him just to see if he's a state record. But as he turned sideways, I saw he was pink. I knew he was not a wahanui. I put a shot right through his gills, not even the gill plate, so he bled out immediately. The quality of the meat was outstanding. This is a fish of a lifetime. I think he was close to 10 pounds. And then I ended up getting him gyotaku'd from Brandon. Makai Impressions did a great job with that. So the meat was incredible. The gyutaku came out incredible, and then I made a Japanese joinery frame out of mahogany and made some sushi with it, and really tried to honor the fish the best I could. Some of your insecurities, I'm gonna wear a shirt. Ugh, never mind. So I wanted to end with that little bonus clip there. Yeah, I don't really wear a shirt all that much. I never have since I was a little kid, and I've been made fun of for it my whole life, and I don't really care. I really... Whew, this tent might turn into a kite if it gets any windier. But I've never really worn a shirt. I only wear one when I'm in polite company or in public, basically. Or if I'm really cold, which is rare. So yeah, that's really how it is. I really don't wear a shirt. Deal with it. Sorry if you're insecure about it. Anyway, my first year in review. It's been a really fun, exciting year. I didn't really know where this was going to go. I don't really know where this channel's heading yet, but I do have some ideas. I do kind of want to switch things up a little bit in the future. And I think it can get more and more fun. It's getting easier for me. It's getting more fun for me. And I do want to post every week if I can. I didn't dive last week, and that's why I'm posting this episode now. It was perfect timing for my 1 year. I can throw those clips together. But I am diving tomorrow, so I have to go get some framework for the house and put a wall up, and I have to go pack my truck up, and then I have to drive up and camp because we're starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow. So in a few days from now, I'll have another episode out for you. It should be a pretty wild one. We're going on a crazy adventure. So thank you guys so much for your love and support. Remember that in these trying times that we need as much love and light as we can in this world. So please do your best to be kind to each other and make this world a better place. I'll catch you real soon.